Hello there, everybody. What's going on? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United with another cheeky little evening stream for you. We're here to discuss the Manchester United goings-on, the latest news, the latest updates, the latest transfers, and the latest news in regards to United in general. We're going to be getting into it in the next hour. Legends. Hope you're all doing well. Do us a favour at the start of this stream, then smash the like on it. You know the drill. Hit that thumbs up button. Help us get to 100 likes just like that. And also get yourself subscribed if you're new and involved in the live chat with these legends such as Lucky Singh, Tom Porter, Griffin. Yes, mate, it has been a while. How you doing, lad? How you been? Drew Who, Ghost Hunters, Marek Stachowski, Lucky, Thornster, lad, let's go. Elliot, Palmer, Pete, Nas, Roger. How you doing, Matty Smith there? Pete Morris, Elliot, Wayne the Red, Steve Barrero, Tom Porter, Madhouse, Robert Hewer, Urbano Valdez, Nas, Beats Guy. Yeah, we're going to get into it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Yes, hit the likes, hit the shares. You can repost us on X as well. Link is pinned at the top of the live chat there. Feel free to share us around. We'll shout you out later on in the show. Sorry, guys, bit of Pepsi Max there, bit too much fizzy Pepsi Max there. Right, let's get into it. Gungshi, how you doing? Yes, lad, welcome in. What are you doing up? It's the middle of the night there, lad. Kyle Fisk, how you doing as well? Indy, everybody's in here. Stephen Shipman, Lewis Joshua, Kingslayer, and everyone. Piggy loves you. Welcome aboard, guys. Thank you for joining us. Oh, my goodness me. Right, let's get into it then. I guess we'll just start with... what's the least depressing of the news? Let's think about the least depressing of the... Yeah, okay. Yeah, this is the least depressing. Yeah, definitely. Little post here, little video from Fabrizio Romano just an hour ago. Some quotes from him in regards to Alejandro Garnacho. Chelsea, from what I'm hearing, could have one more addition up front. The name of Alejandro Garnacho remains one of the options. So I hope this is on the cards. I just hope that it's for a reasonable amount of money. You know, we're not going to let him go for 35 million or something pitiful like that. If you actually look at United's track record of selling players in recent years, we've been shite. You know, if you look at Elanga, we let him go for like 20 mil or whatever it was to Forest. They've just sold him for 50 odd. You know, yes, we did get a sell-on clause in there, so we got a few million back, but still very, very low. You look at the Alvaro Fernandez transfer, that's an absolute joke. He's just gone for 50 million or whatever to Real. We let him go for chump change. And we've done it many times. Henderson's another one. We've done it many, many times in recent years where we just let players just go for basically nothing, and they've turned out to be absolutely boss, you know. Hey, thanks for your super chat here, Thornster. Get in there, lad. He says, we don't want that Astrid Wet Jackson melter. You know, not too sure really what that means, mate, but I know who that TikTok Astrid Wet melt is, and then Jackson melter, I don't know. But thank you so much, Thornster, for the super chat there, you legend. Maybe somebody can shed some light on what he means there. Astrid Wet Jackson melter. Okay. Yes. Take the money, says Urbano. Garnacho soft. Romano heard it from Garnacho. Yes. So, you know, there's an update in regards to Alejandro Garnacho. Hopefully he is wanted by Chelsea. You know, we were talking earlier on about some other clubs also potentially being interested in him in the Premier League. Apparently his interest is to stay in the Premier League and ply his trade in England. And Chelsea, Spurs, and also Aston Villa are among the potential suitors at the moment for someone who could potentially go in and sign Alejandro. But there are no bids. There are no bids right now. We're just hoping that maybe Chelsea would have a little bid for him. We know Chelsea are pretty flush at the moment. You know, they've obviously just got a big injection of cash from winning the Club World Cup. That's going to make them, you know, upwards of over £100 million. So they've got a heck of a lot of opportunity there, maybe to sign players at the moment. So why couldn't they just fork out another 50 mil? They also sold Madueke, and they're looking to sell one or two others like Jackson. So I think there could be a bit more movement this summer for Chelsea in regards to incomings. Let's hope Garnacho's one of them. Let's hope that we can actually generate good cash for him if we do sell him, because we can't really generate good cash most of the time. We seem to struggle to get what these players are actually worth. If they were playing for Nottingham Forest, Garnacho would be going for 60 million right now, no dramas. But because he's playing for United, there's some sort of, I don't know, some sort of like understanding that we just can't get as much money as other teams. That's what it feels like anyway. Oh, really? Jackson was in her DMs asking for vids. Oh, right. Fucking hell. Right, okay, fair enough. Well, you know what? That's another reason not to want Nicholas Jackson at the football club. Do you know what I mean? It really is. Not only is he a bit of a gash bag in terms of his goal scoring and his clinicality there, but he's also not got the best taste in ladies either. Let's be real. It is. No disrespect. Just saying. That's gash. Absolutely, Thornster. Nice one, lad. Good call. He'd fit right in. Oh, maybe so, maybe so. Okay, so that's the most positive news of the evening, I guess, guys, is that United could potentially be selling the likes of Alejandro Garnacho, maybe to those Chelsea scummers for decent cash. We'll ask the live chat again. How much do you think we could get from Chelsea? Have your say, get your thoughts in. I say if we're going to sell him to Chelsea, it should be for a minimum of £60 million. It's a piss take selling him for less than that to a Premier League rival. Screw Chelsea. They charged us £60 million for Mason Mount. Listen, if Mason Mount is worth £60 million, then Garnacho's worth £80 million. You know what I mean? Because that's crazy. We paid £60 million for Mount. Yeah, what's up there, Tonk Nash? You haven't missed much, mate. You haven't missed much. Beats Guy, you're right. I don't want a guy focused on women like that. I love women, but your focus needs to be on football and winning. Hey, listen, you know what? I don't mind about that, to be fair. You know, if he wants to get out there and put it about a little bit, you know, that's up to him. He can do what he wants in his own time and in the off-season in particular. You know what I mean? But actually, I'm just talking about his particular taste here. You know, I'm just saying. You got to question somebody who's you know, I'm just saying. If you found out that, I don't know, let's just say Rasmus Højlund. If you found out Rasmus Højlund was number 969 in the queue for Bonnie Blue, I think you'd start thinking about him a little bit differently. That's all I'm saying. And this Astrid Wet situation ain't that much better, mate. Anyway. Oh, brilliant. Okay, 30, 55, 11.5, 80 million, 50 million, 40 million, 40 million, 50 million, 65 million. For United, but any other club would... Oh, I see, yeah, 35 for United, 45 million, 60 to 70, 60 million as revenge for Mason Mount. That's got a little bit of poetic justice to it, doesn't it? A little bit of cash back. You know, I feel you, Gangsha, on that one. 60 million, that's got a nice ring to it. And people will laugh at that, but we were talking about certain players that have actually moved, you know, this summer, and players like Gittins and Ilanga and... who else? You know, Madueke, and lots of players have gone for like 50, 55, 60 million, you know, that sort of region. And Garnacho's not any worse than any of those players. In fact, he's younger than most, and he's got the potential for the future to be really, really great. So actually, you know, he should be that amount of money. I don't think it's crazy to ask for 60 million for Garnacho from a Premier League team. Maybe it would be from someone in League One or Serie A or the Bundesliga right now, but you know, I don't see what's crazy about asking for 60 million from Chelsea. So I hope that would be the minimum number we could get. But 55, I suppose, I would take. Yes, Excellinator. There you go. I definitely would consider it. Magnifico says, Dimarzio tweets. Let's have a little look and see what you're referring to here, lad. Thank you for bringing my attention to this. Gianluca Dimarzio, you say? Let's have a little look and see what's happening. He's just tweeted out some stuff, has he? What are you referring to? Oh, hang on a second. Translate post. Okay, Gianluca Dimarzio in regards to Sancho. Sancho's getting closer. Positive contacts this evening with the agents and Manchester United. Great stuff. That's good news. And hang on, what's this one as well? Translate post. Juventus survey for Marcus Rashford for the attack. I think that means that they're, you know, they're looking into the option of Rashford. And then also, what's his other post about here? Richard Rios. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Thanks for bringing that to my attention and also completely derailing the show for absolute nothing. Joke in there, Magnifico, but thank you very much. I'll do the news around here, though. I'll do the news around here, okay, bud? Thank you. Just joking, anyway. Okay, so Garnacho, we were talking about Garnacho. Yes, we can get onto Sancho in a bit and that melt and stuff, but right now, Garnacho to Chelsea, there you go. Hopefully there's something to it. And just on that, I guess we'll hop into the other sort of Chelsea scummer that's being discussed at the moment, and that would be Mr. Nicholas Jackson, who I am for real, never meant to make you cry. I just don't want you to be in the team. There he is there. Several clubs have started to move for Nicholas Jackson, reports Fabrizio Romano an hour or so ago. He says several clubs have started to move for Nicholas Jackson as his exit from Chelsea remains possible this summer. AC Milan deal currently off, price too high, and no intention to proceed. Premier League clubs making initial approaches. Premier League clubs making initial approaches. I wouldn't be surprised if one of those Premier League clubs was Manchester United, because this is exactly the sort of melty signing we would make right now. A Chelsea reject, a Chelsea car stuff. I can't see it myself. I don't think it's worth it for us. But look, maybe if Garnacho's going in the opposite direction and it's like you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours, you could see a transfer going one way or the other, you know. So it's possible, isn't it? But I don't want him, guys. I don't want him. I'm not a huge lover, but let's just go and have a little look at his stats here because, you know, he's not got terrible stats. They're much better than Rasmus Højlund. If we're talking about opportunities, you know, or options in the team, then obviously he is a better option than Rasmus Højlund. 100% he is. But you know, that's easy, to be honest. But let's have a little look at his stats. So he's only 24 years of age. Centre forward, reasonably tall, you know. And he is contracted until 2033. That's insane, isn't it, Chelsea, with these long contracts? Fucking hell, how much is this guy going to cost? He's got 8 years left on his contract. That's actually insane. Anyway, yep, so let's have a little look-see. So last season just gone in the Premier League, he had 5 assists, 10 goals in 30 appearances in the league. You know, so he's a proper 1-in-3 merchant there, but he did chip in a few assists as well. Proper 1-in-3 merchant. You know, he's somewhat versatile. He's played 114 times at centre forward, 15 times on the right wing, 10 times on the left wing. But he would be playing centre forward for us. He's a proper 1-in-3 merchant. The season before that, 23-24 season for Chelsea in the Prem, he got 14 goals and 5 assists in 35. I mean, those are some better stats, to be fair. And then going back into La Liga there for Villarreal, 12 goals, 4 assists in 26. There's no point looking at anything really before that. But those are not bad stats by any means. They're a little bit better than the likes of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but they're a little bit worse than Romelu Lukaku, you know. So they're pretty bang average stats, I'd say. But they're all right. You know, it's better than Højlund. Yeah, Raja, I'm with you, boss. He says it's D tier. I agree with you. That's a great way of looking at it, really. Of all the options we could go for this summer, of all the players with their stats, you know, Visser, Mateta, Watkins even with like his 16 goals last season and 20-odd the season before, Osimhen with what he's capable of doing, you know, those sorts of numbers. This is proper D tier, lad. This is down there with Dominic Calvert-Lewin vibes. That's what this is. In big games, he misses chances. Oh, yes, he's a clinical bottler. Yeah, death row contract standard at Chelsea, definitely. He isn't a real striker, says Canara. He's just not clinical enough, is he? I'm with you as well. You agree he's worse than Darwin Núñez. He is worse than Sharkwin Punez. You're not wrong. Yeah. I sentenced you to 10 years at Stamford Bridge. Don't like his mentality. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you guys. I'm with you there, to be honest. You know, I wouldn't really take him at the football club. I think there's better options out there. It would be very much a desperate move for us if we did. But that's what this is turning into. It is turning into a bit of a desperate transfer window. But surely, if you're going to spend some good money, which he is going to cost a bit of money, then you should go for somebody better. Yeah, exactly. Rasmus, not better than Ollie Watkins or Nicholas Jackson. Rasmus is definitely not better than those guys. No, Ollie Watkins is better than Nicholas Jackson, though, in my humble opinion. You know, if you look at the stats season on season, he's miles better and proven in the Premier League. He's also more experienced. Jackson's 24, Ollie Watkins 29. You know, he'd probably be a lot cheaper as well. Watkins is pretty much the one. Him and Visser, those are the two options that would be best for us because they're not going to break the bank, or at least they shouldn't break the bank, and they're proven Premier League goal scorers, and that's what you need. Invisible in crucial games, absolutely, I agree. Watkins is too expensive. Not so, lad. So Aston Villa, they're in a bit of a financial shit at the minute. And actually, Ollie Watkins is 29. If they don't sell him the next couple of seasons, they're not going to get any decent cash for him, are they? So if they do want to sort of cash in, maybe buy a younger player to have for many more years at the football club, now would be quite a good time. Maybe next season would be quite a good time. But they'll get a little bit more money for him right now. United are pretty keen on him, by all accounts. We've heard some reports that Amorim's interested, so I don't think there'll be much of a huge, I don't think it'll be a huge price tag is what I'm saying. He's 29. I think we could have him for 45 million is what I'm saying, but who knows? I don't know. You might be right. If they want 60 million for him, it's just not worth it. No way. Of course it's not worth 60 million, but if they want 45 for him, then I think it would be worth it for us to go and sign him. Yeah, pound for pound, Watkins is better. Totally agree with you. What about Visser? Well, Visser is unfortunately being chased by several other clubs. Nottingham Forest apparently interested in him, and a bunch of other teams as well. Man United haven't made any contact for him with Brentford or anything. Obviously, it seems like we're focusing on Mbeumo. Maybe we don't want to rile them up by trying to pinch another one of their players right at the moment, but yeah, he should be somebody we're looking at as well, lad. 100%. Bit of Tyler Dibbling action. Yep, there you go as well. United, Ollie Watkins in. Jackson and Onana. I mean, Jackson and Onana would come to this team and they would just cement us as a proper mid-table melt team. That's it. They are. If Onana's still here and if Jackson's signed and plays, then yes, that's cementing us to proper mid-table mediocrity mess. Watkins wants United. Sir Jim, make it happen, please. Disco Dave says, question is, how will he work in the system? Is he worth 45 minutes? I think he will work in the system because, for a start, his pressing's really good. His pressing from the front is really, really good, which is something that, Amorim wants his forwards to do. So he's really good at the pressing aspect of it. If you actually look at his stats in terms of pressing over the last few seasons, they're very good. He's a good presser. He's also somebody that gets good amount of goals. He has scored consistently season upon season for many seasons now. So I think he is capable of working in Amorim's system. We know that Højlund doesn't work in Amorim's system. So, when Dusan Vlahovic snubs you, then you're in trouble. I don't believe all this guff, to be honest with you, Tommy Boyle, lad. I know there's lots of reports and stuff. I don't think he snubbed us personally. Maybe, there were some talks. Maybe he just wanted too much money. Is that really snubbing us if we're not prepared to pay the huge wages that he wants? I don't really think it is, I don't really believe these reports that he's snubbed us, mate. I think we've snubbed him, if anything. Do you know what I mean? I think we've snubbed him, lad. Yeah, that's right, because there's other better options for us proven in the Prem that we can get for not so much, wages. He wants a couple 100,000 a week, 250, I think, 250k. That's a heck of a lot for Vlahovic, to be fair. He's a bit of an injury-prone melt. Okay, so anyway, let's crack on with the news, guys. If you're just joining the stream, thank you for joining. It's late night. Do us a favour. Let's have a like spike. We've just smashed 100 likes. Help us get to 200 thumbs ups on this stream by smashing the like. It's free to do so. Also, click that subscribe button and get involved with these legends in the chat. Okay, so Nicholas Jackson, then earlier on he said that Nicholas Jackson has chances to leave Chelsea this summer. After Noni Madueke to Arsenal, he would be the next one to try a new chapter elsewhere. AC Milan asked for Jackson, but Chelsea asking price is still too high. So it seems Chelsea are wanting good money for him anyway. Like, if we are going to spend good money on a striker, it should be somebody with more clinical stats, with more consistent stats. For a number 9. We've got pressers and players who can play in the number 10s and, and other players who can score goals like Cunha and hopefully Mbeumo. What we need to do is now focus upon a number 9, a goal scorer, an out-and-out goal scorer would do me. Right, anyway, enough of that nonsense. Nicholas Jackson, hopefully it doesn't happen. That would be very frustrating and gash if it did. Let's talk about this for a second, which is another United-linked player, which for some reason we haven't gone in for, even though he's available for not a lot of money. Bet you he's the sort of guy that goes for big money, 60 million in about 2-3 years' time, bet you. But anyway, AS Roma have informed Palmeiras today that they're prepared to improve their bid for Richard Rios, getting closer to 30 million euros, but with add-ons included. Palmeiras insist on 30 million euros fixed fee. No official bid from Benfica yet. So, okay, I haven't seen a lot of this guy domestically or anything, but watching him in the Club World Cup, he certainly seemed like a good talent, right? Somebody who's very much box-to-box, destructive, athletic, like a good player. A very good player, seemed like a good player. 30 million euros is not a lot of money to bolster your midfield options with a good player. We can't go and sign the very top names right now. We are trying to find the next generation. This is what this guy is. So this feels like another one of those players we could just quite easily go and get. When you look at the teams that are going in for him, Benfica and Roma, these teams are good teams, but Manchester United is bigger than both of them combined, in my opinion. So, well, maybe that's harsh, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're obviously a big club, and if we wanted him and we could just pay 30 million euros to get a good midfielder, why wouldn't we do that? So, very disappointed with us again, because it feels like this is another one of those like Caicedo signings or Julian Alvarez signings, or one of those sorts of players that we were linked with for quite a long time. We could have gone and got for not very much money, didn't take the punt, didn't take the leap, and then they ended up going elsewhere and doing really, really well. It's not a lot of money, this money here, but we clearly don't have it, even though we've made about 20 million quid from these player sales, or Sancho coming back. They paid us 5 million to take him back. Alvaro, obviously, to Real, we got 7 million for that. Elanga, 6 million on a daily. 2 million. So we've got some money from sell-on clauses and things like that. So why couldn't that just finance the deal? That's pretty much almost as much money as it would take to convince Palmeiras to sell him. We've heard from Fab, we don't know if this is 100% accurate, but we've heard from Fab and good sources that Palmeiras want a 30 million euro fixed fee. Well, that's like 25 million quid, guys. Now that, for a good player with good potential, is a snip. That's not much of a risk, is it? It's not an Anti Dos Santos 85 million risk. This is a much more palatable signing. So I hope we go for him, but I don't think we're going to, because if we were, surely we would have been in the mix right now. It seems like Roma and other teams are in for him, but not us. Rios equals baller, might be worth a punt. That's it. It's definitely worth a punt, isn't it? Tom Porter says, smash those likes. Maybe those players doesn't want United. I mean, it's a fair point. Can't assume most players want to come. Okay, but United is a big club, mate, and they pay well as well, and, we have potential to be massive again. What's up with Super Chat, sticker, and gifted membership? Sorry to shout. What do you mean, lad? They're not working, are they? I don't know. I have no idea. Do you mean this top fans thing? We've got a new top fans thing on YouTube now. Ben Thornton is the top fan at the moment, lad. Get in there. Alkan Mahmout in second. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, get in there. It's just some new thing. The more you chat in the chat, basically, the higher you go up on this list. If that's what you're talking about, I don't know. Anyway, so Richard Rios, guys. I feel like he is a good target, but we're not really going for him. He seems like he's going to go to Benfica or maybe Roma, because we're just not going in for him. Hopefully we go in for him, guys. Hopefully we go in for him. Okay, let's move on from Richard Rios, because we're not even in for him. What's the point of talking about him? If we were in for him, great. It'd be great, but we're not. What else have we got here tonight then, guys? Okay, I guess we'll just get into it. Let's address the elephant in the room. Wait. Graham Bailey from a few hours back said, Man United still working on Bryan and Mbeumo deal with Brentford. Club remain confident he will be on their US tour. Breaking news, this is. No, goodness, guys. I mean, obviously the deal has got to the situation where it's taking the piss. There are reports from Jamie Jackson earlier on saying that Brentford are firm on 70 million and now they want 70 million. But I always felt that they wanted 70 million anyway, because that was what was reported a good couple of months back, pretty much, nearly. And we were supposedly trying to be chipping away at that, and that's why this whole negotiation has been extended and taken all this amount of time. It's because we didn't want to pay 70 million. So we've gone in with a recent offer of a combined offer worth 62.5 million, 55 up front, 7.5 down the line. They don't like that. Okay, 65 million up front, though, is a lot better than 55 plus 7.5, isn't it, guys? It just is. Have we tried that? Have we offered that? That's what I want to know. Because I feel like United are just trying to maybe give them a little bit more, but over a period of time, like they did do with the Mateus Cunha deal, with signing players, on finance, basically. And I don't like it. Why couldn't we have just given them 65 million up front? That would get the deal done. I don't care what anybody says. 65 mil up front would get the deal done. They might have a 70 million asking price, but we can convince them to let him go. If he signed or if he agreed to join Manchester United, he doesn't want to stay and sign a new contract at Brentford, well, they've got a want-away player on their hands they need to cash in on. 65 million up front is a banging offer, but we haven't offered that. Let's just remember that, guys. We haven't offered that. 55 plus 7.5 was a very good offer. They should have accepted it, in my opinion. That's a great offer for Bryan and Mbeumo. They're taking the piss, to be honest, Brentford here. They are. 62.5 combined is a great friggin' offer. However, 65 million up front is a better offer. So I think the key here is really United trying to buy these players up front rather than, offering 7.5 down the line. Plus, we don't necessarily know the structure of that 7.5 million. It could be over years, or it could be based on performance bonuses, based on certain objectives met, which might not even be that achievable. Maybe that's what they've got a problem in. What's the point of them having an add-on that says that we'll give you 5 million when United win the league? It's just, it's not a really good idea, as it depends. They just want their money up front, is what I'm saying. And it's on our side for not wanting to pay it. Yes, 70 million, I guess, is too much. But you look at what other players are going for right now in the transfer window for 55 and 60 million. I'm sorry, but if Madueke's going for 55, then you can justify charging 70 million for Mbeumo. Still a lot, and we should try and scrimp it down as much as we can and meet them in the middle. But you can justify it if you're looking at the other signings. Gittin's going for what he's gone for, and all these other players going for 55, 60 million. If you look at some of these players, you can justify Mbeumo with his 20 goals. Elanga went for 55. Elanga had a good season. Elanga scored less than 10 goals, I'm pretty sure, in the Premier League last season. Mbeumo scored 20 and got 8 assists. So if you're talking about it from a financial point of view, it's like you can almost justify it because I feel he's more effective than a lot of these players that are going for 55 million. So it's not crazy to pay 65 or even 70 million for Mbeumo right now. What was crazy was paying 85 million for Anthony, 75 million for Højlund, 50 million for Onana. That's crazy. Exactly. Gungshi says 65 to 70 million is a fair price for Mbeumo. We should just pay it. Guys, yes or no, do you think we should just pay 75? Let's say it's 75, but I think we could get him for 65 up front as well, personally. I don't think they turn that down and risk losing the deal. I think if we just offered it up front, all of the money up front, they would accept the deal. Maybe we just don't have the money because of these Glazers and Ineos shithouses. Maybe that's truly what it is. But that's what we should be trying to work on, and they can't do it at the moment. They cannot agree this deal. Next week it will be 75 million. 60 plus 5 needs to be getting it for. Thing is, I don't care if it's 60 plus 5 or just 65 up front. In a way, I'd rather we just bought players outright rather than languishing ourselves in a bit of further debt where we have to make, more payments in the future. We heard from Sir Jim in that interview he did a few months back that the club having to fork out 160 million or whatever it was this summer for previous signings because of structured deals and everything that they've done over the years. That's just not sustainable, really. That's why we're seeing such a scrimp fest right now. Best to live within your means a little bit, but also best to buy up front and try and sell other players down the line, even if you can't sell them right now, and claw that money back. Nothing is a downgrade on pass to no one, Nacho. 65 million felt about right. Russell Bland, thank you so much for your super chat, lad. He says, I'm getting the feeling negotiating with United is like trying to beat death in Bill and Ted's bogus journey. Yeah, best 4 out of 7. Best 5 out of 9. Best 7 out of 13. It's so true, Russell, lad. Oh, man. You're not wrong there, Russell. We are not the best at negotiating. They're negotiating in bad faith. Thank you for that, Russell Bland, by the way. Appreciate that. Get some love in there for him. The Cake Cadet, how you doing? Make Nicholas Jackson great again. Thing is, in order to be great again, you at least have, at one point in your career, have to have been great. That's the whole definition of again, isn't it? And he hasn't been great before. So how can you make Nicholas Jackson great again? Cake Cadet lad. Yep, they're taking the piss, mate. At this point, I would just wait and offer less. Well, I've said this for a while now. They should be working on several signings at once here. So it's our own bad play in the transfer window that we're in this situation, because they should have more leverage. They should be like, oh, really? Well, okay, fine. Sod you then. If you don't want to sell us Brentford for 70 million, we'll just play Bruno and Cunha there and spend big bucks on a striker, and get Watkins in, get somebody in, get a goalie in, So, yes, there should be plan Bs, and the plan Bs, I guess, are there, but they're not good plan Bs in the sense that there's no time left. So, we've got a tour coming up. You want to get these players into work. And Mbeumo deal's the most advanced. We need him in there to work with Amorim. But if we were to, dead this deal off now for Mbeumo, what's going to happen is we'll just have to go for another negotiation with another team. We're very doubtful to just strike a deal with a team quickly, because look at our track record. So it'll probably take all summer long to get our signings in, and then we'll be very poorly equipped to start the Premier League campaign, because we won't be prepared properly. So, walking away is an option. It is an option. But I think we should just pay the money. We've talked about the money that other teams have paid for certain players. And actually, I was looking at a post earlier. And, there's other reasons. There's other reasons why a player might be valued, and ages and all this sort of stuff as well. Potential, that has to come into it. But there was a report that's saying, if you look at Madueke, if you look at Ilanga, if you look at Gittins, if you look at all these players that have gone for big money this summer, that their stats are just poor compared to Mbeumo's. Mbeumo's stats last season in the Premier League were absolutely majestic. Scored 20 goals. So, from that perspective, isn't that worth paying a little bit of extra money to get this player in who can get you 20 goals maybe instead of 10? Because some of these players aren't even getting 10 that we've just talked about going for 55 million quid. So 70 million, it is a lot of money, but come on, 20 goals.
Super chat.
Tommy Boyle lad get in. He says Mbeumo 20 goals, 4th top scorer. Bowen 13 goals in a shite team, 12th overall, only 40 million. If we can't get Mbeumo, I think we should go for Bowen. I like it, Tommy. I really rate Bowen. But I just feel like Bowen doesn't really want to leave West Ham. That's what I feel. Who knows? West Ham had a bit of a shoddy season last season. Maybe he would be keen on the move. But I've just got a feeling he's going to be one of those sort of noble type players that just sees his career out there. I could be wrong. He should try and go to a bigger club, to be fair, because he is a very good player. I really like him too. Very good player, very hard-working, no nonsense, old school. I like it a lot. I do like it a lot. Pig, have you been saving hard this year? Why not, instead of you buying a house, why not send your savings to Sir Jimmy for the Mbeumo deal? That's a great shout there, the Cake Cadet. Yeah, I'll take that advice. A really good idea, mate. Maybe you should set up a GoFundMe page for the next Ineos/Glazers holiday. Maybe, nice boating trip. What do you reckon? Thornster, thank you so much for your super chat again here, Thornster. He says, Obi-Wan, the negotiations were short. Sir Jim, nah. The force is not strong in this one. You know what I mean? The force is not strong in our recruitment. Thank you so much there, Spin, for your super chat as well, lad. He says, Pletty roll post on X was brilliant. Ekatike interest from other clubs and United are the CCTV company. Well, that's essentially it, isn't it? That's it. That's what's happened with us a lot of the time in recent years. We've gone in for players and then somebody else has ended up pinching him. That's nothing new to us, really, is it? We're doing all the scouting, we're doing all the research, and then somebody swoops in there. Not wrong there. Look at this Gyokeres situation. The game with Leeds could be a wake-up call. Certainly could be, mate. Yes, lots of players still needed. Haven't got them. Players have left us as well. So we've had a few players leave, but we've also got players out in the cold as well, like Garnacho, Sancho and Rashford, who won't be featuring. So we're going to have a bit of a skeleton squad for the pre-season, I suppose, unless we're going to sign lots of players. We are also aware that Brentford are working on a new forward, so this came out today from Graham Bailey, which was the bid from Brentford for Omari Hutchinson breaks their transfer record by 7 million. The fee surely with the knowledge of a large sum coming in over the next few days. So just hopefully Man United, can get this deal reached with Brentford for close to 65 million. I'll be honest, if it's 70 million right now, I just don't even care, guys. I don't care. It's not my money, It's what we're going to spend it on otherwise. Like, it's only 5 million extra or 7. Right, so the worst case scenario, we have to pay 7.5 million extra than what we were going to pay them in total. So they'd probably do a deal with us if we paid 62.5 up front and 7.5 down the line. If they want 70 million, they'd probably do a deal like that structured. They turn down 55 plus 7.5 equaling 62.5. But if you gave them 62.5 up front and 7.5 down the line, that's 70 million. That's the fee that they want. They'd probably go for it, right? And it's not the most insane amount of money to pay for this player. It's a bit too much, I agree. He's a 55, 60, 65 million pound player at tops. But actually, when you consider the transfer dealings that other clubs have done this summer and the sorts of players that have been going for 55 million, he is justifiably a 65 or 70 million pound player if you're looking at other players and what they're going for. So actually, you know, Brentford aren't even being too ambitious really with their price tag. I think 70 million is a bit high, but that's probably there just as a negotiation to try and get 65 million. Power says 70 million's crazy, overpriced, just walk away. What do you reckon, guys? Buy for 70 million, buy or walk away? Have your say in the live chat, guys, because, you know, it's a bit of a polarizing topic. I feel like a lot of people will want us to just walk away because this is getting silly. But if that's who Amorim wanted at the start of the window, which is who he did want, he did want him at the start of the window because we've been working on this since the start of the window. He signed Cunha and Mbeumo. Those are his two, obviously, key early dog signings that he's sort of earmarked there to bring into the football club. So give the guy what he needs. Give the guy what he wants. He should have got it a month ago. Buy, says Elliot. Walk away, says Kingslayer. Buy. Show him the money. Buy. Yep, you need the player. You want the player. You pay the fee. Walk away. I'm stepping away, man. You fool, says this guy likes the sound of his own voice. Well, you know, now you mention it, you fool. I do have a rather beautiful, dulcet tone about me. You don't get when fans get their knickers in a twist over these prices. It's not your money. Yeah, buy and let Amorim get on with the job. Precisely. Just pay the money. That's where I've got to now. And do you know the sad thing about this, folks? The sad thing is that we could have just paid the money, 70 million quid, a month ago and had him in and done then. You know, the whole point of this time was to squeeze down this deal with Brentford, and they haven't been able to do it successfully. Brentford have stood firm, and Man United haven't been prepared to pay it, but they've also not really made any headway in the negotiations to meeting them in the middle. At least it doesn't seem like that right now. It seems like Brentford have their price, and United are either going to pay it or not. If not, let's move on. But if we are, let's get him. And they should have got him a while ago. Oh... But it does make sense that he's signed in the next few days. It does make sense that the Glazer shithouses have saved nigh on £1 million with not getting the wages or not having to pay him the wages that they would have had to pay him with him being signed early in the window. It makes sense that they've saved $1 million. It makes sense that as long as he's there on the plane for the tour to America, it kind of makes sense that, you know, that's okay. That's the last final deadline. It's not ideal. It would have been better to have him right at the start of July, 1st of July, get the deal done, and then he's got a week to know what's going on. He can get settled. He can, you know, obviously still on holiday, but, you know, when pre-season started again on the 7th or the 8th, whenever it was, he can be back and getting involved, you know? But if he bangs in 20 goals for us, he's worth the 70 million. That's precisely it, isn't it, Disco Dave? You know, we're talking about a 10 million difference here between players that this guy can get 20 million, 20 goals, or somebody who costs 55 million who can get 10. And that's sort of what's going on right now. Lots of money being spent on lots of players. So 70 million is not outlandish. Mad FX, thank you so much for your super chat as well there, lads. Ooh, thank you for that. He says, no overpaying, Calvert-Lewin incoming. Well, the Calvert-Lewin deal would probably shaft us anyway. Timo Schafter would want to share, wouldn't he? And then also, just the wages and all that sort of stuff. Nah, it's a no from me, Carol. Bye. Can you imagine your father-in-law being Danny Dyer? You're right, dude. Bowen will be scared to leave West Ham. Funny, mate. Yes, Tommy Boyle, that's funny as me. What's that? What's that, you slag? You know, like a baby's lullaby. It's always been the structure of the deal. They want more up front and not over years. But if we have to go 70 because we can't give more up front, then get it done. Spot on, Case Slater, I know. We've paid much worse money for much worse players over the years than 70 for Mbeumo. So I know we don't want to be seen overpaying and we want to use money elsewhere in the team. But I think this is just really what this comes down to is Ineos and the Glazers just being cheap. They don't want to spend money up front. Maybe they don't have the money to spend up front because they've absolutely run this club into the ground over the years. So maybe that's what it is. But they seemingly don't want to spend the money up front, do they? Exactly. 70 million. He's part of the Amorim puzzle. Precisely. Get him in. You know, he is a missing piece of the puzzle. You're absolutely right. It's gone on for too long now. Just get the deal done. Adam Wharton, 100 million. That is insane. They're never going to get that, are they? That's insane. Why do they squabble over 10 million? It's pocket change. Precisely. Precisely. It really is. Ineos have done themselves over. Walk away. Yeah, heat from the fans. Pay what Brentford want. You know what I'd do as well if I was Man United right now? I would pay the 70 million for Mbeumo. And then I would make it my absolute goal to just steal Visser off of them for a reasonable price. Not a lot of money. You know, just really put them through the ringer here. We're talking player handed in transfer requests. We're talking, you know, long protracted negotiations. We're talking an out of sorts player there who doesn't want to be there anymore because he's got the opportunity to sign for Man United. We're talking about a real shithouse aggressive tactic of stealing Visser from them as well. That's what I would do. You want to drag us along for 44 days when we've offered good money for you and then, you know, take 70 million for this player overpriced, etc. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Well, now we're going to destroy you. Now we're going to take your other best player off of you because he's only got a year left on his contract. And surely if United sweeten the deal, you know, with the wages, etc., we can certainly increase the likelihood he wants to come to us than anyone else. There's talks of Nottingham Forest and other teams interested in him. Yeah, but they're not Manchester United, are they? And also finances. You know, we can beat the likes of Nottingham Forest financially for wages. His wages currently at Brentford are peanuts, really, compared to what he would get at United as well. So I would steal Visser off of them. You know, that's absolutely what I would do. After all this stalling and greed from Brentford, because, you know, the last offer wasn't terrible. We should have been able to reach an agreement shortly after that, a few days after, surely. But they've been greedy. I would personally try and steal Visser, because he's got limited time left at that football club anyway. Their manager's just changed. He's got a year left in his deal. If a big club comes in for him, he's going, isn't he? He's going. So I would take him. If not, then just pull up to the Brentford Community Stadium, the G-Tech Arena, whatever the fuck it's called, mate, the Brentford Leisure Centre, and just curl one out on their welcome mat. Yeah? If you can't sign Visser, because that's what they deserve, this football club, after making us wait all summer long. I don't even blame them, actually. That's harsh on Brentford, guys. You know what? I don't even blame them. It's actually just the Glazer shithouses, guys. That's what it is. And Ineos, it's these guys being far too tight. That's the word. Far too tight. I'm doing all right, Lee Heasman. Stressed out by this shite window. But other than that, I'm all good. Okay, so look, there you go. And Mbeumo guff, whatever, absolute nonsense. Like Kirst earlier on said, the United is still working on a deal to sign Mbeumo so he can figure on the club's pre-season tour. Makes sense we'll get him before the tour, to be honest. United have had 2 offers rejected by Brentford, the second for more than 60 million. The club sources are insistent that they will only negotiate for a sensible price. Thank you for the super chat here, Louis Joshua. Get in there, you don. He comments and says, help Amorim and get Mbeumo. So much for promising to back him, greedy pricks. If I was Amorim, I'd be packing my bags to leave, mate. I agree with you. They haven't backed him whatsoever. How's he supposed to do his job? How's he supposed to turn around the shit show that was there last season? I was looking at Amorim's stats over for Sporting, right? Sporting, in his second season, he got rid of 17 players and signed a shitload of players, guys. 17 players he got rid of in his second season there at the football club. 17! How many have we been able to get rid of? Only a couple who were ending their contracts. The rest of them, we haven't been able to sell anybody. He's not been able to have a revolution at this football club. He's not been able to have a big exodus of players leaving and then a new, fresh influx of players. He's not been able to have that, and that's what he friggin' needed. He needed to have a lot of these players going out. Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, Højlund, Anthony, Onana, all fucking off out the door. And he needed replacements for all of them. Better replacements for his system now he wants to play. That's how you would have prepared properly for this season. As it is, we've just been left with our pants down. Thank you for subscribing, Michael Brunelli. Yes, mate, if you guys are new like Michael, consider hitting the old subscribe button there. Let's see how many subscribers are on right now. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button there, Michael Brunelli. We're on 91,412. Let's get yourself subscribed to the channel and help us get to 91,500. Cheers for that there, Michael, lad. Rajat, thanks for the super chat. There's no message there with it. It's just pure love. Rajat, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate the tippage, lad. Nice one. Case later says, United trying to break its own record for futility and trying to sign a single player. De Jong is a long way away. Eric Ten Hag set us back a long old time. You're not wrong, lad. That guy's an absolute complete melt. How's it going, Panache Bellerand? Hope you're doing well. Yes. Jim swapping Garnacho for Michael Jackson. Okay, check this out then, guys. Let's talk about the rest of it then. So have I got any other news tonight? Let me go have a look at the updates very quickly, see if there's anything coming during this show. Let's have a look. We've got 364 legends watching. That's what I do know. Heroes, big ups to the legends. No, there's nothing really more. There's a couple of speculative posts from Gianluca Di Marzio over in Italia that are just saying that, you know, Rashford and Sancho and these guys are still potentially wanted in Italy, but it's all just kind of speculative guff. Rudy Galletti also reporting just a short while ago, you know, that Juventus are still in for Jadon Sancho and making progress there. So maybe there is something to be said for Sancho to Juventus. Let's hope that that can be done. I mean, it seems we cannot sell players early in this window to be able to strengthen. We might have to just do some panic sales, get some players gone on the cheap if we have to, because we certainly do need to raise some cash to sign one or two more. Yep, Thornster, that's right. Hutchinson news. There you go. That was what was being talked about earlier on in the lunchtime show as well. We discussed it, but just the fact that the Brentford are, you know, trying to sign Amari Hutchinson, and they're going to break their transfer record. And there's some sort of indication because of that they might be obviously getting big cash in the next few days. Hence the sale of Mbeumo to Manchester United. Any good news? No, Elliot. No good news, mate. Russell, thank you so much for your super chat as well there, Russell Bland. He says, how long would be the odds on Rashford being United's top scorer next year after Amorim is sacked after the first 5 games? Worth a punt? That's a very negative stance to take there, Russell, lad. Very negative. For a start, Rashford's not playing for Man United again, I don't think. I think he's played his last time for us. Very unlikely he comes back now. He wants to leave. He's come out and said he wants to leave. He's already left us on loan to Villa. Wanted to leave. He don't want to play for us anymore, mate. Do you know what? I like what Teddy Sheringham said earlier. Did you hear that, guys? Teddy Sheringham, all hail Don Teddy. What a player he was, by the way. Proper fucking baller, proper intelligent player. Teddy Sheringham, right? What did he say earlier? Teddy Sheringham said something along the lines of that Rashford doesn't deserve to go to Barcelona. That he said back in the day, you know, it's like you got, or even now, you've got such a privilege to play for Manchester United, getting paid such huge money, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You want to leave. And, you know, if you do end up going to a huge club like Barcelona, which at the moment is a step up from United, which it is right now with where we are and how we're doing, we're not even in Europe. Barcelona is a step up right now. He said he doesn't even deserve that step up. He doesn't deserve that step up. And that's absolutely how I feel. What has Marcus Rashford done to be wanted by one of the best teams in Spain, one of the best teams in the world, Barcelona? What has he actually done? You know, this guy is bang average. So, I agree with what Teddy Sheringham said earlier. He's not done enough. Rashford's not done enough, guys, to warrant staying at United on big money or getting a big move to Barcelona, to be fair. He should be playing for, you know, Millwall or something. I mean, that's harsh. He shouldn't be playing for Millwall, but he should be playing for, you know, Aston Villa. That's a good sized team. That's about the right side for Aston Villa, for Rashford, that sort of team, that size team. But Barcelona, Manchester United, goodness me, he's privileged, man. He's been so privileged to play for these huge football clubs. Or potentially wanted by another huge football club in Barca and Man United. Goodness me, doesn't know he's born. 350 grand a week. Fucking hell, boys. Case letters, as we always are appreciative of each and every one of you this evening. Definitely shout out to the Mighty Hamada and the Bacon Express for tuning into the channel. We're on here nightly with the latest news and chat, community vibes. So get yourself subscribed if you're new. We have an excellent community. Facts are Rashford wouldn't make a career at Tesco's. Rashford's too guff. Agree, should not be anywhere near the shirt or United. Yeah. Rashford going to Barcelona. Well, apparently they got some interest in him. Who knows if they'll see the value in the deal? You know, even if we give him away, his wages are still astronomical. So who knows in that regard? But for me, Rashford just has had his last game at Manchester United and he needs to be moved on, and he probably will never play for us again. So I don't want to talk about the negative possibility, you know, that Rashford stays and Amorim goes. Amorim needs to be backed. He does not need to introduce or reintroduce Rashford back into the side, even if we can't get the players we want. He just needs to be backed. He needs to be backed and let these players be sold that don't want to be here and get new players in. Thank you there, Don Gungshaw. I appreciate you, legend. What is this crap window? Yeah, somebody's taken a dump on the United's transfer window. That's what's happened. The Glazers and Ineos. Is he wrong? No, exactly. He's not wrong. Teddy Sheringham's absolutely spot on. We are like more vinted than United. However, we can't even sell our unwanted goods. SJR and his clowns have been shocking since they took over football operations. Yeah, you're not wrong there, Sean. Yeah, you're not wrong. They probably have better luck actually putting like Rasmus Højlund on vinted. They had a chance. One good World Cup, one good year, maybe 3 years ago. Who are you talking about now, Russell lad? Okay, anyway, look, we're going to get into the live chat now, guys. Everybody's wanting to have their say. I can see the live chat's absolutely popping off. It's popping off. Big ups to the live chat legends in here. Everybody popping off here with your comments. We're going to get into the live chat Q&A now. If anything pops out for the remainder of the evening, obviously we'll bring it to you breaking live. But we're just going to read a bunch of your comments out, get stuck into the chat, and see what happens, see if anything does happen tonight. It's looking likely that there's nothing to happen tonight. We were hoping for an Mbeumo. Here we go. Every single time we come on this stream. Don't know if it is ever going to come. You know, and if it does come, it'll probably be for 70 million, which is what we could have had him for at the start of the window. This smacks of Marouane Fellaini guff. That's what this does. Remember that window where they didn't back David Moyes? And I think at the start of the window, he had the opportunity to sign Marouane Fellaini for 19 million. There was an opportunity. Now, we didn't sign him because he was probably our fourth place target at the time in that position. But we ended up signing him because our other options, our other targets did not come. So we weren't able to sign anyone. And then later on in the window, we signed him for like 26.5 or something like that. We signed him for like 7 million more than what we could have signed him for just a month earlier. You know, that's how bad Manchester United were in that window. And that's how bad we've been in this window as well. It's more of the same sort of desperate stuff. Hello there, nice Manny Slouflaki. It's a red panty night. Red panty night in Greece tonight. Hey, mate, that's awesome, man. You have a cracking time out there, Manny lad. Have a cheeky little Keo from me, son. Let's go. Lovely stuff. Rashford fucked his own career by being a diva, just like Sancho. You want big moves? Perform. Oh, 100%, lad. Hasn't Anthony gone and moved to Spain? Not yet, chat sport. Or you mean just on his own back? Maybe he's bought a property out there. Who knows? It's possible. Yeah, that's true. Just remembered he was on loan. Ineos have taken United further back than the Glazers. That's an unwanted achievement in itself. Absolutely, yeah. Thank you. End the Madness says, God bless you to Michael Brunelli. Hang on a second. Oh, Michael Brunelli, lad. Oh, dude, Michael Brunelli, thank you for your £5 super chat, mate. He says, football isn't everything. Oh, no, we laid my dad to rest yesterday. Hold them close. You're a good lad. You'll never walk alone. No insult intended. Yes. Jota 20. Oh, much love to you, Michael. Well, listen, I'm so sorry to hear that, Michael Brunelli, lad. You're, about your old man. I hope he had a good age and everything. And, just the thoughts going out to you and your family right now. It's a tough old time, mate. I know exactly how you feel, and I've lost both my parents, mate. It's horrible. Just take each day as it comes and be there for your loved ones and your family around you, and stay strong, you legend. Things will get better for you. Things get less painful and slightly numbed as time goes on. It's always going to be there, lad. It's always going to be there. You're always going to miss your loved ones there. But it will get slightly easier as time goes on, my man. Much love to you, Michael Brunelli. I love you, bro. Stay classy. And also, yes, I mean, the whole Jota thing, man, just leaves a lump in the throat when you think about it. Bless him. Awful. And also Andre Silva as well, obviously. Thank you, Michael. Much love to you, lad. Yeah. How you doing, Gaz? I'm all right, mate. Thanks for asking. A little bit toasty, but not too bad. It's actually a little bit cooler in the sty tonight. It's only 28.1. Oh, shit. Oh, bollocks. Sorry, I just ran that. All right. Okay, I'm going to go over on X there and shout out everyone who's reposted us using this link that's pinned at the top of the live chat. If you're not following us on X, you can use that link and give us a follow there at Flying Pig United. But we're just going to shout out everyone that's reposted us. Thank you to the 8 legends that have reposted and shared the stream out. It really does help. Thank you, Aaron, the Butcher of Manchester, Ashley Vogt, Kieran, John Boy Cat, Feline Furudon, and Larry Hasser. Thank you so much to you legends for sharing the show out there. Hang on, we need some Pepsi Max. And we've also smashed 200 likes on this stream tonight. What a set of legends. Right, let's get stuck into the live chat then, guys. Have your say, get your thoughts and opinions in there, and we'll cover anything that does pop out in the next 10 minutes as well. Okay, Rashford's an average player. I doubt he'll go to Barcelona, maybe Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Well, that's it. His wages are only really can be matched by Saudi Arabian teams, or maybe Bayern Munich, or maybe a big team in Italy, or probably Barca or one or two others. There's not even that many clubs that can really afford Marcus Rashford right now. Where am I based? I'm based down in Dorset, lad, on the south coast. Did I break it? I mean, it's not looking good, Brev. Hydrate, thank you, Elliot. Yes, Tyler Dibling going for 80 million is a joke. Insane money, mate. Insane money being spent around the gaff. Smash that like, says Disco Dave. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate you, legend. If they knew we needed to sell before we buy, why didn't we focus on selling first? Do you know the sad thing is, Supreme Leader, is I think they have been focused on selling. No joke, I just think it's so difficult to sell our players because, well, there's many reasons. For a start, most of them are a bit shit. Most of them have got bad attitudes. Most of them are out of form, out of sorts. And on top of that, they're paid very handsomely. These are not cheap players. They're expensive players. So, yeah, that's the reason. You combine expensive with gash, and that doesn't make the most attractive proposition for a buying club, does it? 18 degrees, highest temperature country a minute. You must have heating on, lad. Definitely not, mate. Have you never heard of solar energy, mate? I'm not talking about the panels on your roof. I'm talking about your house being heated up in the day by the sun and then being hotter than it is outdoors, mate. AKA the greenhouse effect. I suggest you go back to school there, CJ's bullies. You know what I'm saying? Anyway. Abano Valdez, thank you so much for your super chat. He says, always happy to see you, Piggy. Big up this community of legends. Love you guys. Oh, Abano, you're a hero, lad. Thank you for that lovely message. And you are an absolute don. I very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. You have now taken the number 2 crown. This is kind of interesting, isn't it? This whole new crown system. Who's number 1 at the moment? Rusty Cage Rage. That's Russell Bland, I think. Yeah, he's the number 1 don at the moment, apparently. And Abano's number 2. Thank you, guys, very much indeed there. Buy some plastic mugs, Pig. It's those wages. Precisely, it's the wages. That's why they're unsaleable. And they're also not very good. Why do they get like that, though, Piggy? Makes no sense. Yes, I do need to. Do you go out fossil hunting? You know, I have been before, actually, Paul of the Red. When I was a wee nipper, we went over to Kimmeridge. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Kimmeridge or been to Kimmeridge. Shitload of little ammonites and stuff out there, lad. Loads of little fossils lurking around. Ammonites, ammonites. Think I saw an aerodactyl. There was a Kabutoch there last time I went there, mate. Jackson's a brilliant player. Will be a great player for United, big mate. Nice one. Thanks for that there. Thanks for that vote of confidence. Well, we were looking at his stats earlier. He's not awful. He's about a 1 in 3 merchant. But we need at the very least probably like a 2 in 3 merchant. That's what we need. A 2 in 3 merchant. It's hard to expect to get a 1 in 1 merchant. But a 2 in 3 merchant, that's what we need right now. Even a 2 in 1 merchant. No, sorry, even a 1 in 2 merchant like Lukaku's just not really good enough. Certainly not a 1 in 3 merchant like Nicholas Jackson, though. Piggy, the installation expert, I'm impressed. Oh, call it ointment, lad. Why do people keep saying 70 million is too much when he was one of the top scorers in the league? I agree with you, Neil. I mean, it probably is too much earlier on in the window, but now when you see what players are going for now, and the price of, you know, lots of players, Cunha for a start, obviously Gittins, Madueke, you know, the list goes on and on. It's not even a crazy amount, really, that Brentford are looking for. Yeah, he did Steve Barrero. Boston, I feel you, it's gash, isn't it? We can't. Pterodactyl. I said Aerodactyl, it's a Pokemon, but close enough. Linked with, interested in targeting, monitoring, in talks, negotiating, close to signing, nearly done, on the verge of signing, in advanced talks, set to join, expected to sign. Love that. Okay, that's about, yeah, monitoring's definitely where we're at right now. Did you find United transfer target fossils? Yes, I did. I cracked open a rock and there was a news story in there of Pedro going to Chelsea. Ammonite's whale puke right now, worth loads of money. Aerodactyl. Oh, did you AFK the Ammonite crabs? You watch AW, lad. Realistically, Piggy, when do you think we will be rid of the toxic trio? Yeah, I've got to try and keep faith with the end of the window. I don't know if we'll be able to sell Garnacho, actually, because I think we should stand firm on a decent price tag for Garnacho. And if nobody wants to play ball with him and pay that money, then, you know, Why should we sell him for a lot less than what we should actually get for him? He's only 20. He's got big potential. So we should be getting 50 or 60 million for him at least. I don't want to sell him on the cheap. Rashford, I understand his wages are a lot. We'd probably take 35 million for him, to be honest, because his wages are so much. And that's 35 million we could be desperate to use right now. Sancho I'd give away for a packet of KP dry roasted peanuts. I really would. Sancho is dirt to me. Sancho's the biggest problem of them all. Sancho's on 300 grand a week and he's truly shite. Honestly, would just give him away. As long as it's not to a Prem side, just let him sign for a team for free. I don't even care. Just get him gone. Do you think Rashford confused? He's not the sharpest on the box. Probably thinks Barcelona is a Spanish pub. Or maybe, yeah. Well, let's hope he doesn't get pissed up there and then miss training, lad, like you did. Shout out Kabuto's pop Pokemon for sure, definitely. Is it Metal Paint? Minoda, how are you doing? Liverpool legend, what's happening? Also, your gaffer should have shut up and not called out players. He brought attention to them. Who are you talking about now, Minoda? How dare you? How dare you, Minoda? It depends who you're talking about. If you're talking about Erik ten Hag with Sancho, I think he was still well within his rights to say so. If he's not happy with how Sancho's training, etc., I think he's well within his rights to say so. It's on the player to be professional, keep their head down, and shut their manager's mouth by performances on the pitch. That's how you do it. Not by flapping your guns on Instagram and all this guff we've seen. Ugh. His spending didn't help Steve Barrero. You end up with free Calvert-Lewin. That would be truly terrible. That would damn us to mid-table guffness. You stopped fossil hunting 30 years ago, eh? Fair play to you, lad. I bet you got some bangers, though, eh? Warm tonight, Piggy lad. I'm sweating like Ryan Giggs at a family gathering. Oh, Johnny. 65 plus 5 in add-ons. I'm sweating too. But not like that. Yeah, Elliot, that's it. That's it. They'll accept that. I think we should go in right now, 62.5 up front, 5 million in add-ons, 67.5. I think they'll snap our hands off. Or just 65 up front and they'll probably say yes. Everyone knows United will overpay because they're desperate and have history of it. It's a fair point. It's a fair point. What merchants are these? I'm more accustomed to Piggy mentioning bottle merchants. I don't know. Rayquaza's the best Pokemon. Interesting show. I don't know what my favourite one is, I always really liked Zapdos back when I used to play Pokemon Red and Blue back in the day. Also, Mewtwo was a banger, weren't he? Let's be honest. Gyarados. How much valuable time have we wasted on this deal? Should we walk away? Maybe try in January? We've wasted 44 days to be precise there, Disco Day. Maybe is it 45 now? We've wasted, a month and a half, mate, is what we've wasted on this guy. I don't think we should walk away. I think we should just pay the money, get him in, give Amorim his target. Amorim wanted him at the start of the window. That's who Amorim wants. Give Amorim who he wants. We shouldn't be giving Amorim his plan Bs, Cs, Ds. We should be trying to get all of his plan As. Gyokeres might now be plan A gone for the striker. Well, let's give him his plan B in that regard then with Watkins or Visser or whoever. But plan A, Mbeumo was Amorim's plan A. We know that because he tried to sign him right at the start of the window. So that's his plan A. So give him his plan A. Give him the player he wants. That's what I say. Pay the money. Good evening, Oliver Allen, you legend. What's happening? Yeah, Verts for 117 million. But that's the sort of thing I'm talking about. You look at players going for that money, and 70 million for Mbeumo doesn't seem crazy. 65 plus 5. Easy thing to say when you don't have these problems at your club. Yeah, Lewis says, we surely haven't spent this long on Mbeumo just to walk away. Something's got to give, surely. Yeah, precisely. We've got to just get that deal negotiated and done. We have to find a little bit more money up front. Yes, you know it, Michael Benelli. There's some legends in the community, Michael, and just God bless you and the family right now, Michael, lad. Kabuto's, yes. Kabutha, no. You'll pay me 25 million for Garnacho? Well, we would have to say no to that, Gav's Highlights. Gav's Highlights are Chelsea scummer. We'd have to say no to that. That would just be ridiculous. If you want him, you've got to pay 60 million for him at least. Really, it should be more for you Chelsea wank bags because of you charging us over the years for likes of Mason Mount. You think we're going to sell him to you for less than what you sold Mason Mount to us? But you better be having a laugh with a bubble bath, lad. Speaking of fossils, where did Johnny Evans go? Yeah, he left as a player, but he's staying on in some sort of what is he? Loan officer or something? No, I don't think that means no. He's not in charge of deciding whether or not people are granted loans. Although it wouldn't surprise me if these Glazers and Ineos shithouses had chanced their arm at, maybe money lending and breaking people's legs. It wouldn't surprise me. But in regards to where he is, he's in charge of isn't he in charge of scouting loan moves and stuff? He's looking for loan moves for us. I don't know. What? He's got some sort of role at the football club. I forget his exact title, Loan manager, loan officer, yeah. He's running all the loans for academy players. That's it. Sorry. He's like, that's it. Everyone's getting, he's moving and players on to get experience and stuff. Yeah, development and loanee coach. There you go. Loan officer equals Ammonite. Oh, United never moving forward if Ratcliffe vetoes every deal. Fair point, Tom. Well, that's the other thing. I think, if you've got the Glazers, you've got the Glazers in bed. You've got Sir Ratcliffe in bed. You've got all these guys in bed together, and they all have to be put in the same direction as well. And so they're not going to agree on everything, and then it's harder to actually get things pushed through. LFC moving like the mafia this window. They really are, I know, and it looks like you're trying to pinch, either Ekitike. I believe you've put a bid in or you've put some interest in there for Ekitike, just really to, increase the pressure on Newcastle to get Isak, because I think Isak's the player you really want, isn't it? So, yeah, youth loan moves. If you give us 10 million and pay all his wages to the end of his contract, we'll take Rashi. Loan Casharama officer who wants to watch United on a US tour. It's going to be painful in some respects. Yeah, it's going to be painful, lad. I'll be watching it. I'll be doing watch-alongs for it. If you don't know, guys, we'll do watch-alongs for every single Man United pre-season friendly, even the ones that are like 2 a.m. There's only a couple, I think. But let's just remind ourselves when the United fixtures actually are. So the first one's at a nice time. It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, the 19th of July, against Leeds United. That's from Stockholm, Sweden. And then we've got West Ham in America at midnight on the 27th, Sunday the 27th. So that's quite a cool one, actually, because that's Saturday night midnight. It says Sunday, but it's obviously, Saturday night midnight. So that's pretty cool. We can watch that together at Saturday night midnight on the Saturday/Sunday morning, So that's cool against West Ham. And then we've got Bournemouth on the 31st of July at 2:30 a.m. Oh, that's filth. 2:30 a.m. that fixture's on, guys. So we're going to do a watch-along for that very early in the morning. The next one, Man United Everton, is at 10 p.m, so that's fine. And then the other one against Fiorentina is on at 12:45 early doors. So, yes, so there you go, really. There's only one gash game there, I suppose. Thank you so much, Rajat. Appreciate you. It says great live. Thank you so much, Rajat. We're going to stick around for a couple more minutes, though, mate. I'll also have a quick look again, see if anything's come out from his sources online, see if there's anything new that's been breaking in the last 10 minutes, see if there's anything in regards to United. Okay, there is actually a post from Sky Sports Premier League. Let me pop it up on the screen here, which has just been posted 5 minutes ago. I think this is from what we were told about earlier on, actually, from Gianluca Di Marzio, isn't it? So if I pop this up on the screen, give me 2 seconds, guys, and we'll just have a look at this new post that's come out. And it is this one. It's a bit small. Hang on. That's what she said. Okay, we'll just move that over there as well. So this has just come out from Sky Sports Premier League. They posted 5 minutes ago on X just saying Juventus are interested in Marcus Rashford, according to Sky in Italy. They've begun to explore the conditions of a potential deal for the Manchester United forward. Fucking come on. If it wasn't anyone but Sky Sports reporting it, then, but to be fair, like I said, Gianluca Di Marzio did say something in regards to that earlier. If we have a little look, again, what he said and translate it to English, exactly what he said, and he obviously works for Sky Sports in Italy, so this is where this has come from Sky Italy, would be Gianluca Di Marzio. If we have exactly, and look at exactly what he said, what's he said? He has said this. If we click on the article, basically, Juventus are in for Rashford, pretty much is what it means. Survey for Rashford for the attack. Juventus are looking at Rashford. And then if we click on his site here, I'll just read out some of it as well. I need to translate it into English. Let me just click translate. Yes, go for it. Okay, as a solution, Juventus have made an inquiry for Marcus Rashford, the Manchester United football player at Aston Villa last year, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, basically, Juventus are interested in Rashford. That's, it's speculative stuff. Again, we've heard lots of teams interested in Rashford. Bayern, Barca, Juventus may be interested in Rashford as well. There it is. Okay, nice one. Let's get back into the chat for a Q&A here anyway. Sky Sports said earlier Liverpool wanted Rashford. I know, yeah, exactly. Was that Sky or was that The Sun? I think they said via The Sun, though, don't they? Sky Sports use really gash sources. That's what I've noticed. That's why you just can't really take Sky Sports as read, really. Because, I saw one earlier. They're using the Daily Mail. They're using The Sun. It's like, what the fuck? Just because the Sun posted something doesn't mean you should use it as a reputable source for a story. That's insane. You know? You never see us using the Sun as a reputable source. What the hell? Or the Mail. What the hell? Yeah. Okay. Kolo Muani replacement. Interesting shout, Magnifico lad. Yeah, wouldn't say no. I'd take anyone at the moment instead of Gashmas Boylan. We are united. I will support my childhood club all the way in the hope that it comes glorious again. Me too, Disco Dave. That's it, mate. We're here, there until the bitter end. And hopefully we see, not a bitter end, but a sweet end. Or not even a sweet end, but a sweet middle. Hopefully soon we see Manchester United winning things again, but in style. And challenging up there. Just doing us proud, really. We do have big expectations at this club, but it's because of huge support around the world and obviously locally, but it's also because of the huge achievements we've had at this football club. You can't just undo all of that history. It means something, We should be up there. We should be the Globetrotters of England, but we're not at the moment. Yeah, Random Kolumiani. Exactly. There you go. Exactly. Get in there, my son. Thank you, Bobo, for subscribing to the channel, you legend. I appreciate you. Yes, Bobo. Also, speaking of subscribing to channels, Aaron's just put a little link there in the chat. I'm trying to grow my gaming channel a little bit, guys. Trying to get to 10,000 subscribers over there. He's just put a little link there in the chat. I'm going to just pin that to the top of the live chat there. So if anybody wants to, at the end of this stream, go over and check out the gaming channel. If you're not subscribed to Flying Pig Gaming on YouTube, please go over there, subscribe. We are actually going to be on there very soon. I actually speed ran champs this morning. I didn't do it because I was feeling ill, so I didn't stream. Sorry, guys. Didn't stream FIFA last night, whatever. I melted. But I did speed run it in about an hour and a half and managed to get 8 wins. So we've got some big rewards and stuff to open on the next stream over there, so get involved. Right, let's read 1 or 2 more out. It is getting a bit toasty, and it is late. So let's just read a couple more out, and we'll wrap up this stream. It doesn't look like any new Mbeumo news or Here We Goes or anything like that's coming out this evening from Fab or any other journalists. So, yeah. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes. Can I try to do collabs with Fabrizio this month? I mean, I should send him a little message, lad. You never know. I know he does do collabs with, not the hugest of channels and stuff, so he might come on, mate. You never know. It's worth a message, isn't it? I'll have to do that. Pretty sure I've messaged him in the past, actually, but I'll have to fling another one out there. Yeah, you're our ball with the score and our eye in the sty, our trotter with the lotter. Love that, Wayne Red. Thank you so much, mate. That's banging. Our hog with the log. What's that? Sell him to Cowden Beef. United will be back and will be sweeter. Yeah, that's it. For all this pain. That's true, Russell. If you just won all the time, what's the point in that? You'd never actually appreciate the sweetness of success, would you? You've got to lose and go through the shit to come out the other side and enjoy it, lad. Yes, we made it to nearly 250 likes as well on the stream. Thank you so much. Oh, Steve, he's got to get his act together, doesn't he? I know. Timo Shafter's having a mare. No, Kevin. No. Okay, right, guys. Anyway, we're going to wrap this sucker up then. It didn't pin. Oh, crap, it didn't pin. Thank you very much for noticing there. It didn't pin. Thank you. Right, we're going to pin it to the top of the live chat. And it should pin. Yeah, there it is. Thank you, Aaron. It's pinned to the top of the live chat now on my gaming channel. Go subscribe, Flying Pig Gaming. Legends. Right, we're going to wrap up this stream, guys. Got to go through the storm. Exactly. We're going to wrap up this stream, guys. But thank you so much to all the legends of the chat here. Thank you so much to everybody who's got involved. Big ups to everyone in the chat. Shout out to the moderators, legends like Aaron and Gungshi and everyone who've gotten here throughout the stream. Thank you to all the members in green, people like Urbano Valdez, Kieran, Russell, Superstar, Rajat, TK, all the members in green, Disco Dave, Gungshi, a legend, yes, and everybody else as well. Johnny Swan, thanks for supporting the channel, guys. Big ups to all the chatters, Paula, Martin, Larry, Kingslayer, Urbano, End of Madness, Kate Cadets. Yeah, remember, it's not Dominic Calvert-Lewin, it's Dominant Calvert-Lewin, because that's what he is. Oh, come on, mate. What? Dominant Calvert-Lewin? Goodness me, more like Domicic Calvert-Lewin. Do you know what I mean about that? Yeah, everybody's tired of the Mbeumo saga, mate. Thank you, Dave. Let's go, Tommy Boyle as well. Much love to you, legend. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's all guff, isn't it? There you go. It's all guff, isn't it? Good shout, Tommy lad. Gregory, Kieran, Wayne, Mad Effects, Palmer, Steve, Mr. Leo G. Thank you, Urbano, again for another super chat, you legend. Thank you so much. That's given you the #1 Don spot. That has, by the looks of it. You got the crown. Urbano's the king. There you go. Long live the king. Thank you so much, guys. You're a set of legends. Appreciate you all. Big ups to Urbano, Tom Porter, Stefan Harringtonio. Yes, mate. The Cake Cadet, Urbano, Russell, Funksire, Aaron, and the Manus, and everybody else as well. You can come back after this video is finished and get your thoughts and opinions in. Love you too, Urbano. Big ups, lad. You can come back and get your thoughts in and have your say on anything we've discussed after this video is finished. Please do come in and have your say. Keep the debate going in the Not Live comments. Also, check out the link in the description. There's the links to our socials. Flying Pig United on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Kick. At Flying Pig United, check out the Patreon, !Patreon, if you want to support the show on Patreon. And also, there is a gaming channel pinned to the top of the live chat there. Flying Pig Gaming, go subscribe. That's it from me. Still no transfers from United today. What a pathetic mess of absolute guff. Glazers out, Ineos out. They're embarrassing. They're embarrassing all of us. We just need to pay the money for Mbeumo now, sell players that we can't seemingly sell, and use that money to sign a couple of others. And it's just not happening, is it? They're not giving Amarim the tools he needs to do the job. They're setting him up for failure. What a bunch of absolute bottle jobs. I don't like the new Cake Cadet. It's a bag of shit. I'm not into it, bro. Anyway, thank you so much. We don't want signings, we want new shirts. Cake Cadet, has your phone been stolen by a Glazer shithouse? Let's get some Glazers outs in there. Thank you, Urbano. Thank you, everyone. Big ups to the legends. That's it from me. And remember, Piggy loves you. And also remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you so much to all the patrons here for supporting the channel on patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. As a thank you, all you legends will be appearing on this outro list. Get in there. Once again, thank you to all the YouTube members, but one of the best ways you can support the channel is on patreon.com, so check it out. Patreon.com/FlyingPigUnited. And once again, a big thank you to all the legends that do support the channel on Patreon. Get in there.